Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Sorcerer Dave's Flying Circus, where we provide you with only the very finest in pretend aeroplanes. Today is no exception. We're back in X-Plane 10, as many of you have been requesting. I know that lately I've done a lot of P3D and Cliffs of Dover videos and pretty much not a lot else. However, we're back in X-Plane as requested. I do love it. X-Plane, it's kind of my favourite sim, I have to admit, as much as I enjoy flying the other stuff. At the moment, X-Plane's it's buttering my bread. This more than anything else, I've got to say. And we're kicking off this little return to my favourite sim with this plane right here. Now, you've probably already seen this if you watched the stream VOD I put up from the other day. But if you haven't, this is the new IXEG, IXEG, if you prefer. I kind of prefer IXEG. I have to be honest, but hey ho. This is the new IXEG 737 Classic that has been released for X-Plane. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. Initially, I didn't get on terribly well with this plane, I'm going to be honest. I the law of averages kind of fucked with me a bit, and I managed to get every possible bug with it under the sun on my first ever flight with the damn thing, so that didn't end so well. However, they've released 2 hotfixes for this thing in as many weeks, which is bloody impressive, considering some planes like this, they'll come out and then the developers won't patch them at least for another month, if not more. So that's really, really cool. The plane is pretty damn solid. It's pretty damn solid indeed. I've been kind of enjoying myself quite a bit with it. It still has a few rough edges here and there. Usually related to its FMC, which can sometimes cause what it calls soft crashes, whereby the Gizmo plugin, which runs all the systems and stuff like that, will have a soft crash. Beats having the entire sim just crash to desktop on you, I suppose, but it does mean that a lot of the flight management systems pretty much just stop working mid-flight, which is not really very good. In fact, it's really, really, really not good. But at the moment, those instances seem to be fairly, well, few and far between, honestly, at this point. So, I've been flying it a little bit more. Occasionally, I'll do something a bit odd if I fiddle with something I probably shouldn't fiddle with in the FMC, we'll put it that way. It can be a bit strange. But other than that, it's pretty solid. You've probably seen a fair amount of this floating around on the Twitch and YouTube side of things if you follow a lot of flight sim stuff, so I do apologise if you're already sick to the back teeth of seeing IXEG videos and streams. I'm afraid this is just going to be one more added to the mix, but I've had a few people request this damn thing, so here we are nevertheless. We are today in sunny Mauritius, down in the Indian Ocean. Why are we down in Mauritius? Well, we're flying with Comair today. I know it looks like it says British Airways, but if you look closely, it'll say Comair Limited on the nose there. I've explained this before, but Comair are a small airline that are kind of operated under the BA flag, if you like, down in South Africa and that kind of a region of the world. And as a result, BA Virtual actually include these guys in a lot of in their flight schedule. So there's a lot of flights you can do down in South Africa with Comair as part of BA Virtual, which is what we're going to be doing today. So in this particular instance, we are going to be flying the Boeing 737-300, the IXEG one here, from Mauritius over to Johannesburg, back to South Africa. I did this flight over here from Johannesburg to Mauritius a little while ago on stream, but unfortunately the VOD didn't end up on YouTube in the end because the broadcast kind of went all screwed up about halfway through, and it kind of ruined it really, which is a bit of a shame. I did that though in the PMDG 737-800. Today we're going to be doing it in the 737-300, which is actually a bit more legit. That's the plane they actually use in real life. They don't use the 737-800 in real life on this particular service. It operates, I believe, on a Sunday only. They deliver a bunch of passengers up here, but also they come up here to deliver the Royal Mail, if my memory serves me correctly. The mail used to be delivered to Mauritius by boat, but that service stopped, and these guys actually picked it up and they deliver the airmail now, so that's essentially what we've been doing, and we're now going to be on our way back to Johannesburg. Alright, here we go. It's bloody gorgeous looking, you've got to give them credit. It's fantastic looking. So we're in the flight deck. It's all cold and dark. Probably not 100% realistic, to be honest with you, for this particular flight. But, whatever. Got the windows open. Got some nice fresh air blowing in. Got this avaricious fellow over on our right-hand side chilling out with the mechanics and stuff, doing whatever it is they're doing. We can see the fuel truck back there. I've already got the plane fueled up. We've got the ground power plugged in down there. Just need to start flicking switches, basically, and we'll get this on the way. The route I should have managed to flash up on screen for you, so you've got to have a good look at it. Screenshot taken from SimBrief, basically. If I've remembered to edit that in. If I haven't, I probably look a bit silly right now, but never mind. It's about 4 and a bit hours, so it's a bit of a slog, but it's not too much. We'll be flying out across the Indian Ocean, across Madagascar, and then into South Africa itself. So, a bit of a way to go. We're going to be going across at flight level 300, and then step climbing to flight level 320 and 340 respectively at later parts of the route. Okay, here we go. We're all switched on. Ground power has just gone on. Battery. Let's go up here. First things first, let's get these IRSs aligning. That'll take about 7 minutes. There we go. Yeah, so let's get that doing its thing now while we get on with other stuff. Let's go over here, get the yaw damper on. Sorry about the flickering whenever I hit page up. It's a little annoying side effect of the recording software I'm using. Galley power can go on. And, yep, ground power's already on. Arm the exit lights. Turn off those panel lights, don't need them on, I'm just wasting bulbs, etc. Seat belts. The engine hydraulics can go into the on position for now. Window heaters can be turned on, I suppose. And turn on the recirc fan, open the isolation valve, and turn on the APU bleed. All good for now. We can set the pressure altitude in here to flight level 300 for now. I will have to change that and remember to change it when we step climb to 320 and 340. Otherwise, well, hypoxia is not fun, kids. We'd rather avoid it if at all possible. Okay, position lights on. And, yep, that's that taken care of. As you can see, all of this is not currently aligned, so we'll have to take care of that. We've got both the FMCs down here. Well, I say both the FMCs, I mean CDUs. The FMC is something completely, well, not completely different, but you don't have two FMCs on an aircraft. That'd be silly. Anyway, as you can see, my nav date and my AIRAC is a bit out of date. Hopefully that won't be an issue. It hasn't been so far. I've just been too lazy to update it. What can I say? Well, not really laziness so much as I just keep bloody forgetting. But never mind, I haven't had any issues with it so far. But anyway, so let's go pause in it. We are at FIMP. That is indeed the ICAO code. I tell you what, the ICAO codes for down this part of the world are quite funny indeed. Just they all seem to spell out funny words. Like Cape Town is fact. Port Elizabeth is FAPE. King Shaka International is fail. I think there's even one called FAG, FAGG, and there's also FAP, FAPP. In fact, our alternate for today, I believe, is FAP. I don't know where that is exactly in the world, but the ICAO is FAP. It's apparently it's Polokwane International Airport. Altitude 4,076 feet, and that is our alternate for today. Believe it or not. GG South Africa, I guess. Anyway, grab the GPS data there, paste it on in, route. Okay, origin is FIMP. We're going to FAOR. Our flight number today is Comair 398. And that's good for now. Now go to the route page. This is the slightly tedious bit. I don't yet know how to put company routes into this thing, so I'm going to be typing the whole thing out by hand, I'm afraid. So, we're starting with Sobat. And then we are taking the upper Alpha 401 as excuse me? Upper Alpha 401. That's the airway. I don't see what the problem is. Activate, execute. Upper Alpha 401 now, will it do it? No. Okay, well that's irritating. This may be an AirAC issue, to be honest with you. It's significantly out of date, so I'm going to guess maybe this is the issue. Well, what we can do is we can just go direct SDG. I'm sure it won't be too much of an issue, hopefully. We can go upper Golf 653, hopefully. Unless this is also not going to work. Yeah. Oh dear. Never mind. We're just going to be doing a lot of direct twos on this one. So we're going. Where are we going from here? To Lacra. There we go. Like so. I'm not even going to try and put in the rest of the airways on this one. Then we're going Sunir. And then we are going... These are all straight lines anyway from point to point, looking at the flight plan, so it's not really that big of a deal. Sunir, and then it's up at Tango 444, maybe that one we can get. Yes, we can, excellent, finally. To Ibkar. Oops. Ibkar, not Jibkar. What am I even doing? And then that's where we actually step climb at Ibkar, I think, according to this. And then we continue following the Upper Tango 444 to PKV. There it is, yeah. It's on the previous page. And then it's the Upper Tango 446 to Ockpit. Yeah, no, really, that's what the fix is. Ockpit. Execute now. Let's do our departure. We'll be going off runway 32 today, and our departure is going to be the Sober 1 Bravo, if it's even in here. There it is. Excellent. Execute. Now, I'm about to do something that's a bit unusual. I don't normally do it in any airliner, to be honest with you, but it's just a peculiarity. Sorry, I can't even speak English today, apparently. Peculiarity of this particular aircraft in its current state. The VNAV, the vertical navigation on the autopilot, will not work, full stop, whatsoever, unless you program your arrival route, including the arrival runway, first. It's just the way it is. I don't believe it's like that in the real plane. I could, of course, be wrong. The guys who made this add-on obviously know about it a lot more about the plane than I do. In fact, I believe one or two of them are actually qualified 737 pilots in real life, so they know their shit. I'm not going to argue with them, but either way, we need to put in an arrival as well at Johannesburg, and according to according to Simbrief, there isn't one. We're just going to go... Well, I guess we'd be taking vectors or something, because anyway, the last waypoint on our plan is Ockpit. Although there are a pair of... Well, let me have a look. I bet it's chart time. It's chart time, folks. I probably should have looked this up earlier, but never mind. I keep forgetting you actually have to do this in this plane. And any other aircraft like the 767 or the Aerosoft A320, you don't need to do this, but you do in this one. So, let's see. Stars for... Right, what's the weather like over there in Johannesburg right now? I'm looking that up currently in FS Global Real Weather. And it can't find it. Very good. There we go. Okay, here we go. It's using the old ICAO code, FAJS. Alright, wind is 190 with 1 knot there over there apparently right now. I'm sure that'll probably change at least a bit by the time we get there, but for now, I suppose we can just go ahead and use one of these 03s. I'll take 03 left. In fact, no, forget what I did just then. We'll take one of the ILS approaches. ILS... Yankee 03 left. Yeah, we'll take that. And star OCP4 Alpha. It should, in theory, be the one we want if our route ends with Ocpit. So let me just look that up. And that is indeed the one we want, so we'll take that. Very good. Okay. Thanks, Simbrief, for not giving me the very, very obvious star for this particular flight. Never mind. Okay, well that's done now. Back to route. As you can see, it's all here, including the missed approach. It's programmed in and everything. So now, having done that, my VNav will in fact work. It's not that big a deal. You can obviously just use level change mode or anything of VS, whatever you need to do to do your takeoff, but I like to have VNav just because it gets all my speeds and stuff taken care of for me, you know, just according to the cost index I've set and all that other good stuff, so it's just one less thing to have to worry about. Anyway, so that's done now. We can go to initref, index, perf, and our IRSs look like they've just aligned very good. Yeah, everything's sort of popped into life over there on the left. Very nice. So our cruise altitude, as I said, is flight level 300. Transition altitude here is 8,000 feet. No, it's not. That's the wrong chart. That's Johannesburg transition altitude. You see, this is why this is irritating, but never mind. You just got to deal with it. Sometimes these things are just, you know, they are what they are. The transition altitude is in fact 4,000 feet in Mauritius. There we go. And our weight, let's go to ground services and have a look. Our gross weight is 59.9 tons, so we'll call that 60. There we go. And that's also entered our zero fuel weight. Our reserves for today are, let's see, it'll be here on the OFP somewhere. Well, it's about 1.1. There you go. Well, let's just round that into 1.0, so never mind. It's all good. And let's see, the cruise wind for today average is going to be 27845. 78 at 45 knots. And the ISA deviation is plus 10. Okay, execute. Okay, that's all in there. N1 limit. No D rates for us today. Takeoff, flaps 5, and we'll take these speeds. A little bit nippy on the takeoff. We should be able to get up and away in time, I hope. Might even... what will it give me if I take that for flaps 15 takeoff? You know what? Well, I think we'll take that. The runway here is not ridiculously long. It's not the shortest in the world, but you know, just to be on the safe side, I think we'll take a flaps 15 takeoff. Why not? The joys of flying in fairly exotic locations, I suppose. So yeah, we'll give that a go. Ignore the trim setting on there. We're going to be using the one on here. This is more accurate. This is 3 units of trim apparently according to this, so let's just set that. Which is about there. Very good. So that's done. Right, and that's pretty much the CDU pre-flight all completed. We'll leave that on the legs page. This can stay on takeoff ref. Our map here. Let's see, we can zoom this out a bit. You'll notice as I do so, you get a little miniature version in the bottom left there, which is, I think, is super cool. And you can see our route kind of there. If I zoom all the way out, I could go into plan mode and have a look at it a bit more closely, but there's really no need. This plane just, it really nails the LNAV drawings and all that kind of stuff like that. It's really rock solid in terms of the way they've programmed all this stuff. It's not like the JAR A320 or something like that you may be familiar with, where you have to very carefully examine the SIDS and stars it's drawn to make sure they're not completely loopy. This plane generally gets it all really on the money, so I'm not too worried there. I think we'll assume it's okay until proven otherwise. I'll set that over to map arc mode. Now that's zoomed all the way down to 10. I can press traffic on there. It won't really do anything though, unfortunately, because this plane, as of the current version, doesn't actually have TCAS. But that's no big deal. There's like no one else flying in this hemisphere currently on VATSIM anyway, so I think we're good. and not likely to crash into anybody. Alright then, well. IRSs are aligned. This stuff is all pretty much finished and done and dusted. We can tune to Unicom just for the sake of forming good habits, and we are in uncontrolled space on VATSIM, so let's follow the rules, why don't we? Yeah, we'll squawk 2000 down here. Standby. And up here, we can turn on our flight directors. Arm the auto throttle. Oops, we don't need the checklist just yet. Calm down. Hold your horses. Let's see, our V2 is 146, so let's set that up here. Very good. Runway heading, oh dear, I'm not actually sure what that is. It's going to be like, probably just, yeah, fudge it a bit by doing that, lining up the magenta with the dotted there. Yeah, 321 degrees, seems about right to me. We'll set this up to transition altitude for our initial climb, since I don't believe there is one on the chart. And, yeah. Okay, that's all good for now. I will not be arming LNAV or VNAV, because they don't work below 400 feet AGL in this aircraft, so don't try arming those like you would in a 767 or a 777 or even a 737 NG. It don't work. So don't bother. We'll set the order brakes to RTO, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get the APU started. Get that spooling up. Good stuff. Alright, well, now we can get this out. This aircraft has a handy feature whereby you can... Oh god, yeah, the APU is easing away now. Has a handy feature whereby you can get a little checklist out of the off the dashboard here, which I think is really, really cool. The default checklist it comes with is a bit basic, doesn't really cover everything. However, what's cool is it's just... all it is a default PNG image file that you can open and edit with any program you like in the planes folder. So what I've done is I've taken the British Airways virtual checklist, which I've been using for this thing anyway, and I've made that the checklist in the plane using the PNG thing. I don't want to upload this, guys, for you as much as I would like to, just because it's kind of bad property and I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But hey ho. It's really easy to do. I believe there's another one floating around somewhere, which some guys I know put together using a Norwegian Airlines checklist. The livery, by the way, I forgot to mention this, is actually one that I made myself. It's a Comair 1, as you can see. The registration is Zulu Sierra Oscar Alpha Romeo. It's based on a real plane, etc., etc. I did a few details there, here and there, like the nose cone being all white without the blue underneath it at the bottom there. And the registration, etc., etc., and the Comair logo on the front to get it as accurate as possible. I can upload this, though. This skin, if you guys are interested, you want to do a bit of Comair flying down in South Africa yourselves, I highly recommend it. It's a cool part of the world. And, yeah, in case you had any questions about either of those things, there you go. So anyway, before start checklist, battery's on, ground power's on, IRS mode selector's nav, yaw damper is on. Instrument transfer switch is normal, galley power is on, so we can get a cup of coffee. Nice. Emergency exit lights are armed. Window heat is on. Air conditioning and pressurization is set. Mode selector is auto, and that's set for flight level 300. Good stuff. Instruments checked. All looking good. QNH altimeter. I didn't do that. I always forget that. Let's see. QNH here locally right now is, give it a second, 1011 hectopascals. Done. Auto brake RTO. Speed brake is down. Parking brake is set. The little red light is on. Start levers are at cutoff. Stab trim and cutout switches are normal. Rudder and aileron trim is free and 0. And the CDU is set. So, departure briefing, as I already said, we're going to take off, follow the standard procedure, climb to 4,000 feet, and then we'll go a bit higher once we've reached that transition altitude. And that's really all there is to it. We'll fly up to flight level 300 as our initial cruise altitude, and then we'll step climb up to 320 and then 340 somewhere along the way. That's really all there is to it. So, Okay, that's all complete. Load sheet. Loaded into FMC. Da-di-da-di-da. Fuel. Crossfeed is closed. Checked and set. We have a lot of fuel today, actually. About 15 tons, I believe, in total. And that looks correct to me, so... FMC is set. Thrust is set. Takeoff speeds are also set as well. Stab trim we also managed to remember to set. So, that brings us on to the push and start checklist. Electrical is as required, I believe. These pumps can go on. Passenger signs are on. Or you can do a little cabin bingage. These don't work, by the way, yet. The doors on this plane don't work as of the current version, but we can do a bit of binging to let everybody know we're about to go. We can go ahead and pressurize the hydraulics. Doors and windows, we can close this window. And I have to admit, even though I probably shouldn't, I'm going to leave my window open just so we can hear the engine starting as we push back, because it sounds fantastic. This aircraft has such awesome sounds in it, like the best I've ever heard for an airliner, or any aircraft add-on, to be honest with you, for flight sim, full stop. It's just so good. This plane has some really, really cool 3D sounds and stuff going for it, so I'd like to be able to hear that as much as possible. So there you go, doors and windows are sorted. Beacon, anti-collision light now goes on. Transponder is set, and Pegasus, that's the old ACAR software. We're now using Phoenix at BAV, but I will get that started. Brace for the beep. There's the beep. There you go. I can edit that down a notch in post when I'm doing a video, but on stream it deafens people's ears, so I apologise for that in advance. Okay. Pegasus done, and all the rest of it looks good. Packs are off. ISO valve is open. We're ready to get our asses out of here, pretty much. So, let's put you away. And go over here, ground services. You can also get this up, by the way, if you want to be a little bit more immersive, by pressing the ground call button, which is kind of cool, I have to admit. We'll put the APU, really? The APU on the buses and the GPU off? Thank you, brain, for that particular cock-up. Get rid of the ground power unit, and we'll get ready for our pushback. We'll just do a straight pushback. And it wants us to release the parking brakes, and we shall do so right about now. So, all the ground equipment is gone. We're ready to start moving back, and we're doing exactly that. So, the fun bit. Starting at number 2. Look at our gauges here. NT rotation. N1 rotation, right on schedule. Just checking my EGT's not a ridiculous level as well before. I had a weird bug with this plane at one point where my engines appeared to be on fire without having started them up, which was curious, but they're okay for now. And that's 25, so we put the fuel in. Beautiful. Listen to that sound. So freaking good. Anyway. I'm using the old steam gauges in this one. You can you have options, by the way. If you go to the preferences, you can use the more modern instruments. I'm using the old steam gauge ones because BA, their old 733s use this setup, and so I'm using it too. And I'm also just more comfortable with the steam gauges, I have to be honest. Alright, let's put the parking brake on again now. And we'll start number 1. I don't know. I mean, I was doing World War II flight simming for like at least the better part of 10 years before I came to this whole sort of airline malarkey, and I've always just been more comfortable with round steam dials here than I have with digital stuff like this. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And goes the fuel on number 1. Good old swirly cam, everybody's favourite. Well, certainly my favourite anyway. Alright. Let's go ahead and shut this now. Okie dokie. We've got starter cut out on both engines, which is good. We can put the taxi light on. Put the generators on. APU bleed off. APU off. The packs can fizz into life as well. Auto, auto, and auto on all three of those. Nice, good stuff. Pitot heats can go on. And that should be everything, I think. Oh my god, what is going on with the camera? Sorry, I haven't a clue there. X-Plane lately has been behaving a bit strangely, lots of stuttering and strange behaviour. I'm sorry about that, I don't really know what it is. It's probably a plug-in somewhere it doesn't like, but what can you do? Alright, so I have to start check this. Electrical generators are on, pitot heat is on, anti-ice is as required. Not required today, I don't think. True air temperature outside is 22 degrees, definitely not required at all. Nice and warm down here in the tropics, I suppose. Good stuff. Even though it's probably, I think it's technically winter, isn't it? We're getting into winter now down here in the southern hemisphere, but hey ho. Air conditioning and pressure packs auto flight. I always forget that. You got to set this over from ground to flight. Come on, here you go. And start levers are idle detent. Just double check that. There we go. Ground crew clearance as opposed to ground crew clearance. Yeah, is received. The APU is off. Flaps are now going to 15. That should be the 15 slot. There we go. Yep. Good stuff. Okay, so that means we can officially whack out the brakes, get moving. And as we do so, I think I'll run through the before takeoff checklist. So, we want runway 32, which means we're going down that way and then turning around, so we'll taxi past all the nice big aircraft. The scenery I've got for P3D, actually, for Mauritius is also really nice and also freeware, so I might have to do a 777 flight down here one day on a video. I do like this airport. Anyway, so engine start switches go to continuous. Up there. Flight controls, well. There you go. They are being tested. They do appear to work. Oh dear. Let's get back on the taxi line. Jesus Christ. Trying to turn corners while looking at wing views. You Dave, you idiot. Right. Transponder is not set yet to TARA because we're not actually at the runway threshold. Vital data has been all set. Everything's good to go, I believe. Down here, looking at it. Hello, Mr. 777. Hello, Mr. What is that? A340. Nice. Nice bit of freeware. This very nice bit of freeware. Like everything in X-Plane, really, but this in particular is really good. Okay. Final data set. Flaps. 15 green light. The flaps have been extended, boys and girls. And that's it until we enter the runway itself. So far so good. I have to be honest with you, I was paranoid that just because I was recording a video and my luck seems to work that way, the aircraft would crash all the time and misbehave, but so far we've been pretty good. Don't want to jinx myself or anything, but you know, it's looking pretty good at the moment. The sounds, as I already explained, are bloody awesome. They've also got this kind of cool head shaking effect as well, but kind of, I think it less simulates head shake and more simulates just everything in the cockpit vibrating as we're taxiing along. It'd be nice if I could turn it down just maybe a tiny notch, but on the whole, actually I think it's pretty cool. the whole sort of in-cockpit experience with the IXEG 737 is just phenomenal. It's so good. I mean, it has a fantastic frame rate, as you can no doubt see on the video, since I do record it in 60 FPS. But in addition to that, it just looks gorgeous. It's got wonderful reflections on the CRT screens down there. It has this wonderful shaking effect. The sounds are just perfect. It's fantastic. I have no complaints there whatsoever. It just feels so legit. I mean, like, you could practically bloody smell the aircraft, you know? It's so good. Anyway. Alright. On the runway now, get the big lights on, put the strobe on. And we'll squawk altitude. And we're going to go all the way to the end here and then basically just do a U-turn. Ready for takeoff. On entering the runway, exterior lights are as required. So we're going to put the turn-offs on as well, just get everything on. Auto throttle is armed. Weather radar is now going on. We are going to want to tilt that down a little bit in preparation for our climb out. By doing so, though, I imagine if I turn on weather down here, we'll probably pick up the ground using the weather radar in the nose. But no worries, doesn't matter right now. As you can see, this thing does have functioning weather radar, which is pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. And that is the before takeoff checklist complete. Let's shove you away back in there. I so love that feature. I don't know why. I just think it's great being able to actually fold out the little checklist from the dash like that. Awesome. Really, really cool. Really immersive. I think immersive just sums up this plane really quite handily in one word. It's just... it's so freaking good. It's so nice. I probably could turn here just to get enough room, but I'm going to go all the way to the end. Just to be on the safe side, to be quite honest with you. I'm just checking there wasn't a taxiway leading up past here, but there isn't. No, it's just this bit here. So that's, I think, what we'll do. This plane's quite nippy on the ground, though, mind you. It's quite... it has a pretty good turning circle, so we're not in any danger of accidental runway excursions. Hopefully. Famous last words and all that, you know. Just one quick glance up here, and I don't see any orange lights, so I think we're good. No master caution or anything. Oh, here's a fun thing, by the way. Look at the master caution, right? See how the button's wonky? I can make it dance. Woo! Look at it go. That's just, again, I know, another effectively unnecessary thing that they chose to model, but the fact that the master caution button gets a bit wonky whenever you press it. I just, wow, 10 out of 10. What can I say? Anyway. Here we are. Stretching out in front of us. A bit misty in the distance. You can see those hills and mountains and stuff. As beautiful as you are, Mauritius, we have to leave. I'm sorry. So let's do exactly that. Okay. Brakes in. Throttle up. To about 50% N1. Outs there will do it. And if I can find the button. Toga. B1, rotate. Not a lot of effort required either. Positive rate, gear up. We'll go straight to flaps 5. Bit of up trim. Love the trim wheel noises, it's so good. Nice. What a view. Alright. Left turn now. Gonna engage LNAV. Gonna engage VNAV. Gonna maintain manual control for now, just because this plane is such an absolute bloody joy to hand fly by yourself. I really wish I had track IR working in X-plane at the minute, so I could actually let's go ahead and retract our flaps now. But I really wish I had track IR working so I could get a good look out the window more easily. Because it's a nice view. As always with X-plane. Up through these wispy clouds. Look at that. Go past the window there. So good. Alright, well. Just for the sake of multitasking. Autopilot on. Okay. Ignition goes back to off. Don't know what the trim's doing right now, but whatever. Well, tilt the radar back a bit. Water brakes can go to the off position. Gear handle can go off. Look at that out the front there. Look at it. My God. Alright, let's climb up to... well, might as well just go to cruise altitude. Why not? Save ourselves a bit of trouble. Flight level 300. Whoa. There we go. Here we come. VNAV. We'll bug up. And after takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on, packs auto. Engine start switches are as required, flaps up, no lights. Landing gear is up and off. When cleared to a flight level, i.e. right now, we'll set altimeters standard 1013. After takeoff checklist is complete. Now we get to just enjoy the view. Which I have to say, listen to that rumbling engine. It's awesome. It sounds pretty damn good. I mean, looks pretty damn good, but it sounds pretty damn good as well. I mean, well, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, guys. It's late. It's been a long day. But look at that. Just look at it. And listen to it, too. As I said, 3D sounds, so obviously up in the cockpit, we've got the flight deck packs, you know, the fans, air conditioning hissing away. You can't hear the engines quite so much, but, you know, go back down here and sit right next to the engine. You can hear it whirring away, power drill style. Good old CFMs doing what they do best. Beautiful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the some might say only interesting bit over and done with. I'll drag that out to the maximum view range. And now we're just climbing up. We'll do a couple of step climbs on our way across, take in the sights. Not much to see at the minute out here over the Indian Ocean, but we'll be over Madagascar in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, I hope. I'll just be sitting here playing with the old map lights and air conditioning nozzles as well. Hee, look at that. Oh, and might as well put the foot warmers on. Why not? So, let's get you off as well. All of this just needs to be on right now. Good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be sat on my arse probably watching Netflix or something during the cruise, but I will see you again in approximately 3 to 4 hours. Look at the jet exhaust as well. Oh my god. Actually in love with this thing. X-plane, this aircraft. Very happy. I've got to admit, guys, I'm definitely more of an Airbus guy than a Boeing guy, but this thing is really winning me over at the minute, and more than I kind of expected it to. I've never really quite understood the appeal of the 737, because a lot of people really love this thing, this plane. They're almost obsessed with it. A very good friend of mine, an ACG as a matter of fact. He just absolutely goddamn loves the 737 to bits. I've never quite seen the appeal myself, but I don't know. Let's say we're slowly getting there with this thing. It's been an absolute pleasure to fly so far. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you in a bit, guys, when we get ready for the descent into Johannesburg. In the meantime, have some nice views and things while I sit back and relax and get on with some work in the meantime. Alright, see you in a bit.
Echoing tonight, cheers only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man on the way.